guys, it's Sue, your Not So Crafty Crafter. This morning I'm going to show you how I made this pretty watercolor styled card base. I had made this earlier, and as you can see, I smudged it. I cut it before my splatter was dry, and so I have to redo it. So what you see here on my desk, or my workspace, are the items I used to make this panel. I'm going to go over them real quick. Part of this is to show that you can use less expensive items, and you don't have to invest a ton of money in the top of the line items, especially if the whole technique is new to you. And when I bought these, I love to watercolor, but I'm not proficient in it, and I thought, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy or actually use the brush tip watercolor based markers and pens the way they're supposed to be used. Zig is out of my price range right now, so I bought these a while ago. I bought these last year, I'd say, maybe 2 years ago at Walmart. They were doing their coloring craze, and these are brush tip markers. There's 30 markers, and they were $9.99. I don't know if they still carry them, but you can check online. And these are what they look like. They look just like your regular brush tip markers, like your Arteza, like your Zigs. Same thing. Only a lot less expensive, and probably not a lot. There's probably a lot less ink in the wells of these than there is in the others, but they worked for me, and it's what prompted me. I used them a lot. It's what prompted me to go ahead and invest in the Artezas. So that's step one. Next, I need an ink for stamping my sentiment. Regular Distress inks do not stamp well, but Distress Oxides stamp better. So I am using the Walnut Stain. I have this stamp from Inkadinkado, and it was part of a recent haul that I did from Hobby Lobby over the last couple of weeks. It was $2.74. I could probably remove that. Don't need to have that on there. And then I'm also going to use some shimmer spray, which is from Tattered Angels, and it was a 4-pack. And this one is called Sunflower. Yep, Sunflower. And it's very shimmery. Look at all the shimmer in there. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll have to excuse me. I am using my iPad for this instead of my phone. And so I have this zoomed out as far as I can, and I still feel like I'm in your face. So the other thing I have is my water to spray my stamp, and of course my stamp chamois to pick up any messes. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing, when I'm using a woodblock stamp, I like to use a piece of fun foam underneath it to help give it an even pressure. And also to give it a little bit of give, because sometimes a stamp like this, there's no give. And I mean, doing CPR stamping works, but if there's a dip in your table somewhere or something, you could miss a whole part. Now, the other thing I'm using is, sorry, I forgot to mention this is Strathmore Vision watercolor paper. I found this at Hobby Lobby on clearance about 2 months ago. I cut a bunch of them up into 4x6 panels, 4.5x6, and I think they're 9x12 sheets, so 4 out of each. One side is smooth, one side is textured. Today I am going to use the textured side because this is water, and I want this to absorb a little bit into the paper. So first step is to take your stamp. And I'm missing my brown. Where'd my brown go? What? Jiminy Crickets. There it is. I guess that'll work. That's not the brown I used on the first card. Dang nabbit. All right, well, I have a brown. I start at the bottom. I also start with my darker colors. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just putting in some color where I think it should go. Now, this tree has lots of branches, especially towards the bottom. So that's what I'm coloring in here. And don't worry if it dries, because you are going to mix this with water and it'll reactivate that. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you want your colors to kind of blend. We're going for that soft watercolored type of feel. All right. Then I use a little bit of my red. If you look at this one, the red really blended in down here, but I use the red towards the bottom. So I'm going to go in with this and color in all my bottom leaves in between all these branches with the red. There we go. This is very easy technique. Next, I'm going to use an orange. And I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to go over a little bit of that red so that it blends. And you don't have a harsh line. All right. And then I'm going to use my yellow. And then the cap looks really like neon yellow, but it's not. It's very soft. It's very pretty. Almost a gold color yellow. And as you can see, my stamp is pretty much covered. And again, I brought the yellow down into the orange so there's no harsh lines. Alrighty, now the fun part. We're going to go ahead and we're going to spray this. Now I'm going to take the stamp and move it off over my trash can so I don't spray all over my paper. I'm just going to give it a quick spray, and you can see there's a little bit of moisture on there. I missed the stem. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to try this and see how it works. I'm going to put it right down over my paper. I'm going to try and center it as best as I can because I'm going to use this whole panel on the card front, and I need to leave a little bit of room for my sentiment. So how's that look? All right, we'll push this down, and I'm going to put the stamp, put a little bit of pressure on the stamp. I'm also going to leave it here for a bit because, like I said, this is watercolor paper. I want a little bit of that moisture to wick into the paper and not pool on the top. Another reason I'm using watercolor paper, because if I used a smooth surface paper, I might not get that same effect. I might get some pooling. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of CPR. But again, I have my fun foam under here, and if you can see, there's some give there. So I'm hoping that helps a little bit. All right, let's see what this looks like if it doesn't work. Oh, look at that. Ah, that actually came out better than that one because that one really blended. This one didn't. Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. So what I'm going to do is, you're going to have to excuse me. I'm going to heat set this a little bit. And I'm going to take it over here so you don't hear it as much. Let's heat set it with your gun, your heat gun. It shouldn't take much because this one didn't have a lot of moisture on it. And I also attack it from the back so it minimizes some of the warping. There we go. There we go. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. That came out better than my first one. Oh my. Can you tell I'm excited? Huh? Usually when I hit the record button on these videos, it never works the way it's supposed to. Oh, there's my brown marker. Aha, I found it on the other desk. This never works out the way I want it to. Now, I'm sure that I will mess something up here. This stamp was so worth the $2. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to put thankful, I think, right here underneath this. Because I thought about doing the hello fall, welcome autumn. I like that too. Yeah, let's go with the welcome autumn. That's what I did on the other one. Making some fall themed, and so there is my stamp. I bring the pad over to the stamp. You can do it either way. You can do this. I find when I do this though, I'm a little heavy-handed and I end up with ink like this all around the edges. And not my favorite thing to do. So what I do is I take my stamp chamois and I just wipe the edges off because I don't want that shadow on my card. So let's go ahead and give this a go. See how this works. It's all stamped up. Let's see what this is going to look like, folks. Now, this is usually where I mess up. And if I mess up, I can take another piece of paper and stamp over it and just place it there. So I'm trying to get it even. I don't think I did, but it's okay. And again, I'm stamping on the Fun Foam because these are wood block stamps and they need that little bit of give. See, and this is what happens. There's my shadow. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that brown and I'm going to bring it up a little bit because this is watercolor. And I'm going to ground my tree. Ha! Easy fix. Easy peasy. And again, I didn't check my stamp, so that's on me. But that's a quick way to fix a boo-boo like that. If you're doing a scene, ground your image. Now, the next thing I did, I'm going to make sure that's dry. Because I don't want splatter on my tree, I used a Post-it, a full tack Post-it, which means the whole back is sticky. And I find these in various places. I know you can order them online. I did find some yesterday at Staples, so they are out there, folks. And so what I did is I covered my image, but I don't put it down all the way because I don't want to pull my image up. So I just kind of cover it a little bit. And I use my shimmer spray and add a little bit of splatter around the edges. I don't want the shimmer on my tree. I just rounded around the outside edge just to give it a little bit of something. Now, if you don't have shimmer spray, you can use sequins, you can use Nuvo drops, you can use Perfect Pearls mixed with a little bit of water. Whatever you have on hand, utilize what you have. Do not go out and buy more just because you're seeing it in a video. I fell into that trap when I started and I have stuff I'm never going to use. So, do what works for you. Now the big reveal. Oh, look how pretty. Now, I'm not going to touch the inside of this because I don't want to smear that. But there is my image in my tree. Now, in a perfect world, I wouldn't have made that mistake, but I don't think it looks horrible. I think this is okay. Now, my card base is a piece of Neenah Desert Storm. I'm just going to put that on there with some liquid adhesive when this dries, and my card will be done. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll try and be back later with another video. Talk soon. Bye.